Hello and welcome for the final time. Welcome to the first equal tier of the four equal tiers this weekend here at Imola. Round 24 out of 24 rounds. We are here for the final time and for season 7 for tier 3. We are here at the Emilia Romagna circuit here at Imola. As you can see on your screen, we are interviewing one out of two drivers for P Race, and one of these drivers are Mitchie, because Mitchie's after this race will probably be retiring from racing full time and for the time being. So we're gonna go ahead and give him a pre-race interview. Well, Mitchie, since you don't have to include your audio due to the stream being on PC, so you don't have to worry about that. But what are your expectations going in this race, as it will be your final race for the time being?
Uh, Finish. Hopefully finish. Look, I think every race this season's just been hope for a top five. That's pretty much it. Since the boys like Ron, Gary, a few others are super quick. Yeah, hope for a top five. No penalties as well, since yesterday was very easy getting some track limits, especially here in Imola. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, you are P6 in the driver's standings,
I don't know
actually, I
how.
believe. Yeah, but you are actually 3, 4, 5, 6. You are actually 2 points off of Kieran Evans, and he actually will be showing up to today's race, I believe. So, are you going to try and pass him in the driver's standings?
How many points was it?
2.
Oh well, that's giving me more motivation now.
It's,
So
it's more
yeah, we'll see how it
motivation.
goes. So if I can do that, yeah, that'd be great.
It will, but considering that Red Bull was eliminated for constructors last week, we will not be seeing Red Bull as constructors champion, as it will be down to 3 teams.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for you and Ardell. Shame. But since you're out of constructors, will we see a change of driver aggression between you and Ardell, or is it just going to be
well,
whoever's quicker will get the preference?
well, if everyone remembers on stream right now what happened in Bahrain and that, I think the aggression was always there since the beginning. Since that's always how me and Ardell have been since I started racing in BRL. So we've always been very aggressive with each other. So I'm sure if we come near each other again, it probably will be the same thing. But look, if I know Ardell's quick, and if he was behind me, I would let him through either way because I'm look, I'll keep him happy. Love you, Ardell. Sorry.
Well, it will wrap it up, but not from the interview. We still have a video of
I don't
a
know
compilation
why.
of all of Mitchie's
I did not,
streams put in one.
Skippy. I did not pay him to do this. I did not pay him to do this. He said he was going to do this.
But there you go. Make sure your mic's muted. But that will wrap up the pre-race interview. But we still have a video of a compilation of Mitchie's clips, all of his BRL races, just one in video, to basically to make a send-off video for Mitchie, and we will let you see that now.
About to take you for a lap around the new Cheddar circuit on F1 2021 in the Aston Martin. A superb circuit. Let's go for a lap. As we go in the Aston Martin into turn 1, and he's got straight off at turn 1 because he can't be bothered to do this. It's my only hope. Oh!
Are you okay? That was a nasty hit.
Is that it? That's got to be a safety car. I can't be bothered.
That was a
What? 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 Well, I don't know how we did that. I don't know how we did that. But we all know what the best part of this game really is.
Come on.
Oh my god! And then look up how... Oh. Oh, there we go. Come on. Pile up. Pile up. Oh, there we go. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh my... Look at this. Here comes some more. I'm just done. I'm done.
Let me know you're
I'm...
okay.
18%! Oh, Bagoo! Yeah! Bagoo!
Bye, Mitchie. Well, we are back, and that was quite a funny video. All of us had a laugh, including our interview. See on your screen now, it will be our championship protagonist. Heading into the final race, we have Ron. Well, welcome back to the pre-race booth, Ron. Well, for the final time this season, we know the goal from you, Drivers' Championship. What is going to be your priority this race?
You're wrong. That's not my goal.
Yes, it is. But
No, it's
anyway.
Constructors Championship.
Oh, man, I was wrong. Man, I wish I could read your mind, but anyway.
Gosh.
Since you're 15 points back, the chances of you winning the Drivers' Championship is pretty mediocre. Are you hoping that Gary will have some bad luck or some interference, or do you want to straight up fight for this championship?
He literally has to have it, but I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't think it's possible. It's mathematically possible, but his worst finish, besides like DNFing, was 7th place finish. Otherwise than that, he's been top 5 every single time. And if he gets, I believe it's 5th or higher, he's guaranteed. So it's going to be fun end of the season. I'm just hoping to get the Constructors Championship with my main man, Whiffy. I'm sad Mitchie's leaving, especially since I touched him last race, and I felt bad. But hey, I don't like you.
I don't think that's quite very legal to say in a Twitch stream, but anyway, moving on. Like you said,
I don't like you?
No. But anyway, Ferrari
touch
are
somebody? I don't see the problem with that. I touch people all the time.
What is this? But anyway, like you said, Ferrari.
Contact is natural.
But Ferrari are 3rd place in the Constructors, 15 points out from Mercedes. And considering that you and Whiffy are there, but only Gary is, and Hamilton, Gary's teammate in the Mercedes, is not, that will help your chances. But you have to pass another team in order to win Constructors. That would be Alfa Romeo.
We just gotta do decent. But I want to point out, what is this graphic? That's not my number. I don't drive the 29. I drive the 25. This isn't even me. That's not even my helmet. What is this? I feel like you guys aren't that good at this job.
I agree.
You agree? Whoa. But
it's been great. It's been a nice change of pace having Bailey as the commentator, because we get to see all these amazing, cool graphics that we never would have saw with you because you're lazy.
I just don't have a good PC to do this, but okay.
PC
but you have to pass the Alfa Romeo as well in Constructors.
Oh, we were ahead of them.
No, you're behind by 3.
What?
But yes, look at the standings right now. You're behind by 3.
Oh, you guys told us last stream we would be ahead. My God, I've been lied to.
Yeah, we lie quite a bit. We lied quite a bit, especially to you. But anyway, and considering that you pass another team, the aggression will be a very high between you and Whiffy compared to
Wait,
DXD,
I'm so
Sanser, and
confused.
Gary.
He didn't update the driver standings? No, he didn't update the cheat. I'm looking at it now. Mercedes is still leading the constructor championship. How? This is the same constructor championship from 2 races ago. He didn't update it.
Oh.
There's no way Mercedes kept the gap they had.
This is a very scuffed interview.
Yeah.
To say
As
the
it
least,
should
but-
be, on God.
Well, I think
Okay,
it's
we're readying
time.
up. I'm leaving. Bye.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you better go. Good
God, I
luck.
don't like
Good luck.
you.
I hope there's a good battle. But considering that we're readying up now, we once again have a lap time in time trial from the. I don't believe it's world record this time, unfortunately. So you won't see the fastest driver. But anyway, he's still very fast. We're gonna send you on a hot lap to the Emilia Romagna circuit with Chandler 6-1 in the Mercedes driver on time trial. As you saw, that was a very great lap time from the Mercedes driver Chandler once again. As I wish I could pull the stream up on my phone, but here we are. One final track, one final time for Tier 3. The first tier of the equal tiers, like I said at the start of the stream. We are in qualifying, as I believe that our co-commentator Bailey should have the graphic up shortly. But before we go over championship, Bailey, I must ask you, how are you feeling about this Grand Prix and for the final time in Tier 3, which will be a tier that I will miss greatly?
Yeah, I am obviously very excited as we have a championship that can be won either way, technically, as you can see with the graphic, very fancy graphic. But yeah,
Yes.
hopefully it's a good battle between the two. Hopefully they're relatively close to each other. And yeah, hopefully we get a good one.
Well, as you should see on your screen now, we should have the championship graphic up. And if you do not know who Ron's driver is, that is Ross Chastain from NASCAR. I believe Bailey went around and asked Ron what his favorite driver of all time motorsports was, and he picked Ross Chastain. And so there's that. If you don't know who he is, he's very known to slam watermelons on the ground. So maybe we'll see a watermelon be smashed here tonight if Ron wins the championship. But on the right, we have Gary with his favorite motorsport driver. Everyone knows who that man is. We don't need to go over him. It's Art and Center, plain and simple. But going over the important part now, Ron will become champion if he finishes first with no fast lap, and Gary finishes sixth. But if Ron gets first and fastest lap, Gary only needs to finish fifth for Ron to be champion. And if Ron finishes second, Gary needs to finish ninth or below. But all Gary needs to win the championship, no matter where Ron finishes, will be fifth and above, I believe. Yes, it was. Because if Ron gets the win and Gary gets 5th, it will go down to a tiebreaker, and Gary will have the tiebreaker. Because if Ron wins, that would put Gary and Ron tied at wins, and they go down to second place finishes, and Gary has that. So 5th or above, 5th and above should be the goal for Gary tonight, as I just had a stroke.
Yeah, again, hopefully it's a relatively close battle between the two. They might be 1-2 for the race. Hopefully it is, as it was last week. But yeah.
But I am waiting for the championship graphic to come out the screen, and we look at the track now. Something to talk about is that the Red Bull of Ardell, after Stewart reports last week, has been deemed to qualify ban due to the fact that he has breached the 9 super license point rule for the Breakout Racing League. Because if you get 9 and above, you will get a quality ban. But besides from the Alfa Romeo, something important as well. Alfa Romeo is, as Ron said, the constructors have not been updated, so I cannot relay you that information at this time. But nonetheless, Alfa Romeo is still in the constructors' fight, as he sets pole. Silencer does with a 15.8 on the mediums. Potato in the Williams goes P2 and the 16.4 on the mediums as well. If you look at everybody's tire compound, it's an even split with 7 drivers on the mediums and 9 drivers on the softs, as Rage goes 3 from 18.4 on the mediums as well. So very early, it seems like these drivers were setting lap times on the mediums. Now, something to talk about as well is that we could have the threat of rain, because it likes to rain around here, as we see already. Our championship protagonist in P2, 15 points behind Gary. Ron in the Ferrari, pole with 15.5 on the softs, only 3/10 ahead of Silencer. So I think Silencer will have pace that will be shown later on as qualifying, as Kieran Evans sets P4 in the Alpine with a 17.5.
Yep, everyone getting their bankers in, as Stick goes up to P3 with a 16.4. Pretty good banker. But yeah, Ron only 3/10 ahead of Silencer, so we might have to keep an eye on that for his pace.
Yes, we do. As once again, we will not see Ardell at all in this qualifying session, and due to quali ban, so we will not have to worry about where he lines up. But Stig and Whiffy go P3 and P4 respectively, which helps constructors for the Ferrari. As you heard in Ron's interview, his priority is constructors, surprisingly enough. But still, I think if it comes down to it, I think we'll see a change of heart in Ron if he's able to get the driver's standings.
Yeah, obviously it's possible for him to win drivers today, but as you said, he's prioritizing constructors. But yeah, I think Ron can be able to put up a fight to Gary. So far, I think Ron would have the upper hand.
Speaking of Gary, he crosses the line and sets a 17.2 on the mediums, which will put him P7 for the time being, which is absolutely crucial, by the way, still considering that he's on mediums. Gary is about 1 second, 17ths off of Ron's pole time, so Ron is on the softs. I'm not sure what the gap is between the soft and the mediums, but that will be something to look out for in case Gary backed off his lap, and he's barely up on his Sector 1 time, going through Sector 2 now.
Yep, it looks like Gary is going again, so he will try and improve from his first lap time. I'm going to keep an eye on Gary's pace and Ron's pace and see if they're, close to each other, and maybe dictate how close they will be in the race. But yeah, hopefully they're pretty close again.
Yes, I am hoping that as well, as Gary is very low on his ERS, so he's about 3/10 up, so he definitely has some pace as well. But with that low ERS, I think that will set him back a little bit and make him lose time due to the loss of power on straight, as he's on 4% of battery now, as the battery is not important in qualifying compared to the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it affected him too much. He does improve to P6 with a 16.6. So yeah, I think Ron and Gary will be pretty close.
I think they will as well, as Silencer actually picks on the inters, but I am still waiting for a weather report.
Does look pretty cloudy.
as actually I just got it from the DXC Ichigo P8 on the sauce for the time being. He's saying overcast for both sessions, so these drivers will not have to worry about the potential of rain unless the approximate weather setting changes heading into the race. As it's a yellow flag, and that is for Yeet Doggo, but not DNF'd. I'm not sure if he has damage or not. He doesn't have any damage visually.
Yep, maybe just a bit of a slight spin out of the chicane. That chicane is pretty difficult, even for me for some reason, but yeah, it might catch out some people today.
Yes, he will, as Ron is on another out lap.
It should go invalidated to the chicane, so as I said, it might catch out some people.
As I'm looking around for drivers on a lap, Kieran is on a lap on the mediums. He's on a 15.9, barely off the silencer as well, as I believe he's actually about to run out of fuel, so I'm not look out for him. Potato going through sector 2 now. I wasn't able to see a split, but going to sector 3 now. Let's see what type of lap time he is able to produce here on the sauce. Says he's actually invalid, so we will not see a lap time from him. Next driver to cross the line on a time of lap will be the Alpine of Kieran Evans. Is that I believe the other Kieran is out of fuel, which he is. With the Alpine driver. But the Alpine driver of Kieran, yeah, it's fine. As he sets 16th up, that'll be a 16.9 behind DXT, but ahead of Mitchie, which will put him P10, so we only jump up one position. But Kieran at Monza said in a previous interview that Alpine will make a charge, but we were not able to see that charge, unfortunately. But coming across the line, let's see what the Alpine driver can do in his final race for Tier 3. It is a whole second improvement. P7 for the Alpine driver, which is 16.5.
Yep, pretty good lap from Kieran Evans, putting up into P7. Yeah, so far everyone's getting their laps in, and they're gonna start preparing for the final for their final run.
Well, we only have 8 minutes left in qualifying. I'm so glad that qualifying is going so slow right now because I do not want Tier 3 to end. I believe that is a yellow flag for a Williams driver. It is Bad Bunny. But Ron is actually down to 10th on his lap time as he actually drifted through there with was able to save the car, which is good because he's able to save the car due to him not retiring. If he retires, that would be huge for qualifying, as everybody is starting to select the soft compounded tire. But coming across the line, the Ferrari driver of Ron is able to barely improve until the 15.4s. But let's see what Silencer can do. He sets a 14.8. That is 16. That is, wow, 16? 6/10 clear of the Ferrari driver of Ron. But Whiffy just went P3 for 15.9 as Kieran just set P4 on the second lap on Sauce for 15.9. So it's looking like if you do a second lap on the Sauce, you can be actually pretty quicker.
Alright, I had to restart my app, but yeah. Silencer looks like he has a lot of pace, so I'm going to look out for him. You know, he can win this race probably. But yeah, Ferraris, they look strong together as a pairing, and I think they can be able to get constructors.
Well, but then again, this is qualifying, and the words from Ron himself, he's pulling a 1984 Nicky Lauda, I believe. It was either 82 or 84, maybe even 83, I don't know. But he won those championships in one of those years. And as in an interview, Nicky Lauda said that he never cared about qualifying in that season. He only cared about the race. That's what Ron's mentality was all season, and guess what? It put him up in this position to win the driver's standings. But he certainly has a hill to climb if he does want to beat Gary. But as it stands with the qualifying position, he will be able to get it done.
Yep, I've been scrolling a bit through the standings, and a lot of people have been invalidating, so I'm not sure what the strong spot is to invalidate. Oh, wow, Ichigo almost completely binned it out of Aqua Minerale. That's going to be another spot to look out for. for a bit of crashes, as it is a pretty tough corner.
Oh, Gary, I was looking on board of him as he got a little bit of a slide. He was at least 2/10 up, but with that slide, that made him lose tremendous amount of time. See, I once again had a lot of oversteer there, as he's barely a 10th up now through a Sector 1 split. So I wonder if we're going to still see an improvement or a push lap from Gary here. But I do not think it'll be much representable, because due to the amount of mistakes that the car is not able to handle the amount of the change of direction from the wheel that Gary is putting into the wheel for the car to turn. As that was a terrible sentence there.
Just under 5 minutes to go. They're gonna start preparing for their final runs as the track is starting to grip up. But coming to the line, here comes Gary. Let's see. Oh, he pulls into the pits.
Yes. As I'm once again waiting for. I'm looking once again to see who's on a lap. Next drive across the line that is on a lap, I believe that is going to be Alfa Romeo of DXD.
Let's see how he gets to the chicane. Last time he invalidated. Last time I watched him. Oh, he takes it a bit more cautious. Let's see. No, it hurt his time.
Well, going down into the penultimate corner and now the final corner before we get DRS. Speaking of DRS, there is only one DRS spot at this track here at the Emilia Romagna circuit. Right across the line now, DXD goes P2, as that will be crucial, as Alfa Romeo is now 1-2 as it stands, as that will help them improve in the constructors. But once again, back on top of DRS, there is only one DRS circuit here, but it is definitely so powerful, especially if you have the battery. So that will be another talking point. As Stig goes wide and invalidates to not turn one, but in Sector 1.
Yep, on the topic of the DRS, it's if the leaders are 1-2 and you're currently in P2 and you have a bit more battery, around 40%, it's basically your win guaranteed, as that DRS is that powerful to where you can possibly even get completely past P1 before turn 1.
Yes, it will play dividends, especially. So I'm curious if the Ferrari drivers, Alfa Romeo drivers, or anybody else would be considering using Slipstream to improve their lap times for the sake of constructors and drivers, for the case of Ron here.
Yep, currently Alfa Romeo 1-2, so that's going to be good for them. I think some key guys to look out for the race will be Silencer, as he's showing some pretty good pace right now, over one lap though, so we have to see how consistent he will be through the race and through each corner. I think he'll be the main one to look out for.
Yes, turn 1 as well to start. We saw it last year as well in F1 with the Max Verstappen Lewis Hamilton incident. But obviously they were on the inters, but we're on drives here. As once again, this is F1 2021. The contact system is a bit questionable at times, but still, it is definitely a thing to be a talking point. As Whiffy is now down in the P6 due to Solar going P5, I believe that was. Yes, it was. But he's on a lap right now, so let's see if he's able to improve to help out his teammate Ron here.
Yep, everyone is starting to set up their final lap time, or final runs for their final times. The track is probably the most gripped it will be all session, so the times will be improving.
Well, I'm looking at Gary right now. He is improving 8/10 up. That will put him at a 15.8. And we still have a third sector to go, so he's only bound to improve more unless he invalidates here. 8/10 to be exact as well. But going through the final two corners, let's see where Gary ends up. He does not invalidate. But coming across the line now, it looks like he will be P2 with a 15.1. As Ron is not improving, actually. In less than a minute left of qualifying. 35 seconds now. we're starting to see lap time starting to ramp up, but once again, this is qualifying. It is not representative as Ron invalidates. Will he have enough time to come back to
Yes,
set
20
another lap, or is that
seconds.
qualifying done as Skeppy goes P4? This is definitely not a good start for Ron here unless he's able to get it back to the line in time. It's going to be close.
Yep, he is gonna go
I'm
again.
not able to see the timer.
Yeah, I can't see the timer either. Yeah, Ron is gonna give it another shot. Hopefully he will improve. Probably bring it closer to Gary. About a 3/10 gap between, so he has some time to find.
As he does is he goes very wide going through. I believe that is turn 2, but still the battery is going to be very low as Ron actually lifts. I think he's out of fuel.
I think he backed out.
Yeah, I think he did, so that will be... Actually, Ron will start P6. Solar Silencer will be your pole sitter. Gary P2, Solar P3. It should go P4. The Skeppy's invalidated. He'll not set another lap time. So, all your drivers on a lap right now will be Kieran and, I believe that is, Kieran. Yes, it is Kieran. But Kieran actually runs out of fuel before the line. So, we're going to have to look at Kieran Evans here and see if he's on a push lap. I wasn't able to see a sector 2 time.
I think that's quali over. Yeah.
Actually, Kieran is not on a lap, so that will be qualifying done and dusted. So, as it looks now, the advantage will go to the Mercedes driver of Gary, as Ron will start P6 compared to Gary P2.
Yeah. Silencer is showing some pretty good pace, so I think he's gonna be my pick to win. But yeah, anything can happen in the race. Ron can still bounce back from this P6 qualifying and maybe even win the race, maybe even win the championship. So, you know, we'll see how everything turns out.
Yes, it does. Not looking good for the Ferrari driver so far, but once again, this is only qualifying. A little refresher, Ron needs P2 or P1 to win the championship, and if Ron gets P1, Gary needs to finish 6 or lower, basically. But if Ron finishes P2, Gary needs to finish P9 or lower. But there is your final qualifying session for Tier 3. We have Silencer now from on pole for 14A, Gary P2 for 15-1, Solar P3 for 15-2. DXT now for Mayo for 15-3. Skeppy in Aston Martin. We haven't said his name at all so far, but we'll make sure to include his name later on. With a 15-4 in the Aston Martin, but we have Ron in the Ferrari, which is P2, and drivers by 15 points with a 15-4. Potato, 15-5. Bad Bunny, 15-5 as well. And Kieran with a 15-7, and Woofy with a 15-7. And that will be your top 10 for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
Hopefully this will be a very good race. Strategy is pretty simple, I think. It's a easy soft medium, pit around lap 10, 11, 12, but you never know what the chances of safety car and how hard that can throw away a race.
Well, if we look at race director now, I wonder what tire everybody outside the top 10 will start on. And everyone is on the softs except for Rage and the Alpine on the mediums.
He's on the softs for me.
Oh, on the Rage for me is in mediums.
Ardell,
Great game.
that's Mitchie on mediums. He's still on softs. That's weird.
It's great game. All I have to say, great game.
10 out of 10. Worth the $60 of my life.
At least you didn't buy Ignition.
That is true. As we can tell through Mitchie's little video. How good of a game that was.
Yep. as the final formation lap for Tier 3 has begun. For the final time, what is your podium predictions? And ultimately, who's going to be your championship winner tonight?
Let's see. Okay, for my podium, I think Silencer will be able to pull out this double. You know, the pole position and the win. He's showing a lot of pace so far in quali, so yeah, I hope he gets that win. I think Gary is gonna drop out of P2 though, and possibly finish outside the top 10. I think Ichigo will get up into P2 and take that spot for an Alfa Romeo 1-2, and I think Skeppy will get P3. For the championship though, I think Ron will be able to pull it off by 1 point.
You really said your podium predictions and not include Ron and what?
Hey,
You
no,
really
they'll
said.
find a way. There's a
Listen.
way. There's a way. There's a will. There's a way.
True, got a point there. What starting the end of Sector 2 and starting in Sector 3, I have to recap the season. Man, it has been enjoyable ever since I joined at Monaco. I have loved this tier. I've loved the racing. I've loved the drama. And I loved a certain pair of drivers clicking on their keyboards at the end of the race. But we won't talk about that one. But just moral of the story, I love this tier. And I will miss it. And I will take pride in commentating this race for the final time. Alongside of you, Bailey. It has been an inspirational season from all around in the Breakout Racing League. As we saw F2 and Realistic end a couple nights ago, with Realistic ending last night. But Silencer and Alfa Romeo is lining up on the grid now, which will start the lineups of everybody.
Yep. Hopefully this race
There
is a
we
good
go.
one.
I am hoping for so too for a championship and constructors deciders, as Ardell just now lines up on the grid. As now we wait for everybody to connect to get lights out here. But here we go for the final time for Tier 3. It is lights out. And it's lights out, and away we go, as it seems like Gary gets a better start compared to Silencer, but Silencer at straight line speed is able to get it done, but Ron looking to get a move done very quickly, and Skeppy going on the outside. Ron trying to get around Skeppy is not able to get it done. Skeppy on the curve, Solar and DXT is wide as Solar goes off, but here comes Bad Bunny on Ron. Will Ron concede the position? No, he will not. And he's able to hold off. Is that a potato in the wall, actually?
Oh, no.
Ron is looking for a move on Skeppy. I've never seen Ron be this aggressive so early. He knows that he needs to get up to the front very quickly, as he's already up in the P4 already after starting P6. As we already see that his race pace is already kicking in. The lights out, but now ahead of him is DXT Ishigo, his constructor's competitor. He is not going to make it easy for him, but all DXT is doing is falling back from Gary. As long as Gary stays in the position that he's in right now, he will be fine to win drive standings. But we still have 31 laps to negotiate here, as Gary's actually out of DRS here because this year.
Oh my God!
Contact! That is Whippy and Ardell around. Ardell was in around P6 trying to get around Whippy, but that is huge for constructors. And I believe that was just contact system being contact system. But lap 1 is complete as Kieran is actually in the lane. Same with Ardell for front wing damage. But Gary is definitely already using the battery quite a bit here to get DXT out of his DRS.
Yeah, what a very chaotic start with 3 people in the pits. Potato got a bit bumped going into the second chicane and went straight into the wall. That was quite unfortunate. But later on the lap we had Ardell with a bit of contact with Whiffy. That's going to play huge into constructors, like you said. But we saw that a couple times last week with a bit of contact on the straight. Let's see, that's a bit of battling. Solar and Yidago.
Yes, as Solar is able to get around Nitago, but Ron is falling out of the DRS of DXT, but DXT is falling out of the DRS of Gary, but Gary's able to get back in the DRS to Silencer. But once again, as we said, as long as Gary sits here, he will be sitting pretty, as long as no mistakes will be made, because if Ron is able to stay without a DXT's DRS, he will not go anywhere. And that's a yellow flag. That is Whiffy out of the Grand Prix. that is huge. That's going to be a VSC. I wonder if it will upgrade to a full, but that will play huge at constructors.
This VSC isn't really going to affect some strategies, as it is pretty early in the race and it's only VSC, so yeah, no one is pitting for hards to go to the end. Doggo is left. It's not good.
That is not good at all. There's something talking about Skeppy is gained tremendously on Ron. I wonder if Ron is just building a positive delta here. But the way it looks like, it is not looking good for the Ferrari driver. This is losing time to DXD, but there you go. VSC delta starting to kick in as well here.
Yeah, the delta can be pretty annoying at times from experience, but yeah, it can catch out anyone, so we're gonna look out for a bit of drive-thrus.
Yes, this VSC is taking quite a bit here.
Yeah, VSCs usually take around a lap or so. I don't know why, but that's just how the game is coded.
Yeah, I'm trying to see on... Silencer has definitely pulled a big gap on Gary in this VSC. But Ron is starting to use the battery here. I wonder if they got the signal that's going, and I have been proved to be correct. As DXD is actually in Gary's DRS, I wonder if he'll get it with that mistake there. As yes, he does, which means that Ron will not have DXD's DRS, but Skeppy will have Ron's. So I wonder if Skeppy will be using the battery, which he is. As he stopped using it now, I wonder if he's going to peek a move at Ron here. As Ron is going to use battery, Skeppy will not be close enough as DXD is in DRS of Gary, but actually he lost it. So Ron needs to get within DRS of DXD here if he needs any shot at the driver's standings as it stands.
Yeah, Ron looking a bit not too pacey right now. As he said, he lost DRS from DXD. Wow, huge snap from Skeppy, almost going into the wall there, but luckily to save it. I think Ron had to get into Ichigo's DRS to carry him, but that was not able to happen.
Yes, but Gary is also starting the gap to DXD, so I think we're having a bit of a stalemate here. So as long as Ron gets to DXD's DRS, I think he will be fine because they could just train up to Gary. But as it would stand, if Ron is able to get ahead of both DXD and Gary would be at the minimum P5, as actually Ron gained a tremendous amount of pace on DXD. Sector 3, as he actually got robbed of DRS there, I want to point out. But nobody around Ron has DRS until you go back to Solar and Kieran Evans.
Looking at the battery situation, Ron has the lowest between Ichigo and Skeppy. Silencer picking up a penalty already. That might be huge coming to the final stages of the race. But yeah, some battery saving has to come into play.
Yes, it does, but Ron has gained tremendously on DXD, so I wonder if Ron will just have to get his tires warmed up a little bit for it to have any effect. That's a yellow flag for Bad Bunny. His tires are full of gravel, but Kieran gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane and retires from the session. So that will be Kieran's season done and over with. Very unfortunate ending. But Ron gets a snap of oversteer going through that uphill right corner. I'm not sure what it's called, but I think it's Acromental Raleigh or something like that. But Ron is all over DXD right now.
Yep, going onto the main straight, so Ron can easily get past DXD here. I think DXD has more battery, but Ron will have the benefit of the DRS, and these two are going to try to catch up to Gary.
Yeah, I would not be surprised there. Skeppy gets a snap of oversteer on the curb, but Ron having DRS on DXD as he's not using the battery, is I think he'll just have the overspeed. Pulling out to the right-hand side, and that will be Ron P3. But for driver standings-wise, that will not affect anything as Gary would still gain on Ron, and that would be championship decided. But that's one less car that Ron has to pass to get up to Gary, and that will be the last car he would have to pass, actually, to get up to Gary, as he needs to start using the battery here to gain on Gary, because he is definitely trying to stay within that 3-second threshold of him and Silencer. That way he can ensure the win.
Yep, I said in qualifying, I hope Ron and Gary will be somewhat close together on track. And here we have it. They're P2 and P3, 1.7 between each other. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's front wing damage. I think that's Bad Bunny who doesn't have a front wing. So a bit of contact now as they go down into Aqua Minerale. Interesting.
Yes,
Oh,
Bad
more
Bunny.
contact.
Oh! Oh,
Oh
no!
my god. That is not good.
That is, as that is a safety car for debris. That will
Wow.
throw a wrench in everybody's plans there. I was thankful to catch that. But as everybody will come to the pits is
That is interesting.
for the time being. Yes, everybody will come in the pits.
It looks like, oh, okay, they're gonna go mediums to the end. I think they can make it, but Tyler is gonna be
Close.
pretty high up there.
Ron on the hards.
He's definitely going to the end. So is Ichigo.
Ichigo on the hards.
They're prioritizing the tire wear instead of the pace. Interesting.
Ardell gets a
Wow.
drive-through penalty, speeding under safety car. Oh, once again, not a great finale race for the Red Bull driver.
Kieran went back onto softs. I'm not sure what tire he started on, but he's gonna have to pit again. He's not making the end of the race.
So, as it stands, the drivers that are on hard are Ron, DXD, Stig, Bad Bunny, Mitchie, and Ardell. The drivers on mediums are Silencer, Gary, Skeppy, Solar, and Rage that pitted just now to safety car. But we have Doggo and Kieran Evans on the softs.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a game bug or something for Kieran Evans, but going back onto softs, I'm not sure about that call. But on another topic, the safety car, that was very interesting. It was only contact. No one got damaged, no one DNF'd. Oh, everyone, okay, actually they did get damaged, but no one DNF'd, so I'm not sure about the safety car here.
The safety car would be deployed due to the debris out on the track, as I saw a lot of debris start flying everywhere, so that's probably why.
Yeah, possibly, but never really seen that before. Just for debris.
But we're just waiting on the safety car to come in, which will come in next lap. We'll have 9 laps. The regular laps to pit between soft and medium will be 11 to 13. So once the safety car goes green on lap 9, we would be 2 laps shy of the regular pitting time. So I think the mediums will be able to make it unless something crucial happens.
I think, yeah, everyone besides Kieran and E-Dog will make it to the end. It's just for the medium runners, the tire wear is going to be pretty high, and we're not going to know how much grip they're going to have. They might be sliding all over the place. They're not going to be as fast as the hard runners at the end, that's for sure.
Who knows, but if we look back to realistic, all the drivers that were on the hards had quite the lack of a pace advantage to the softs and even on the mediums. So I think these guys are prioritizing tire wear instead of pace. But honestly, I'm not surprised about Ron prioritizing tire wear over pace, because at least as it looks as of right now, if it's based off of pace, Gary has his championship in the bag. Ron needs to take some sort of gamble.
Yep, and with Ron prioritizing constructors, it doesn't really matter to him what he does, and if he can win it, he can win it, and if not, oh well, as long as he gets constructors, it's fine by him. But yeah, safety car is in this lap. We're gonna get back under green.
Yes, we are. But with the DNFing, and still Mercedes would and Alfa Romeo would outscore him, so he definitely does have a high task here, as Silencer is packing the pack up, backing the pack up as he goes very late. Actually, as he wasn't able to catch out Gary, but he was able to catch out Ron. 7/10 of gap between Gary and Ron. That will absolutely play dividends to Gary later on, as Gary is actually getting the slipstream of silencer, which will once again play huge, but he will get dirty air going through here. So I think I'll put Ron right back up to Gary because he definitely needs it considering the tire difference between the two.
Yep, the top two right now, they have to start pulling away from Ron and Ichigo as they are on hards. If Ichigo and Ron will, be able to stay with DRS from Gary, they can win this race because of tire wear.
Well, as depending if the race goes green the rest of the way, but Kieran with that tire advantage around he's on softs, everybody else on hard, so he'll be a driver to look out for. As Gary made some sort of mistake, I was able to catch it. I think he got oversteer, but that has pulled Ron right to him, which will. So I think we'll finally see the one-hit battle between the two for the driver standings. Skeppy is all over DXT right now. We have a bit of history between the two. Skeppy's going for dive on Ichigo, and Ichigo just lets him through. And that will allow Skeppy to set sights on Ron as Skeppy gets to 3 seconds. So time penalties are already starting to rack up.
Yep, the medium runners will be a bit faster than the hard runners at the beginning of the stint, but maybe towards the end of the end of the 20s. Wow, stroke. The hards might come back into play, and we might. Wow, oh my God, we might have a good battle between each tire compound.
Yes, we will. As Rage gets a 3-second time penalty now. As once you start getting warnings, it definitely starts to rack up because it does kill your confidence a bit. But all the penalties I've gotten so far in my Tier 2 experience have been unfortunate and undeserved. I was able to get Abu Dhabi removed, and I didn't clip the Jeddah one, so I wasn't able to get that one removed, which is unfortunate. But, oh, what a snap from Ron! I just felt my heart drop through there when I saw him start to drift the car, because I thought that was gone. I thought the rear was going to go out, and that was going to be a spin from Ron, which will heavily hurt his championship. But Skeppy is within DRS of Ron. But more importantly, Ron is within Gary's range, and he's starting as Ron's Ferrari is getting bigger and bigger in Gary's mirror.
Yep, as Hanser gets fastest lap, Ron and Gary are relatively equal on DRS, and Ron is able to stay with Gary, so that might play a factor going into the final laps. But yeah, as on the topic of penalties, it's gonna start racking up as it's pretty easy to get penalties here through the second chicane and the corner before Aquaman Raleigh. But yeah.
That is the yellow flag. That is for, I would have to believe, Stig. Yes, it is, due to him having gravel his tires. Ron's making a move on Gary. I believe Gary once again made a mistake, but that will allow Skeppy to pounce on both of these two as Gary's starting to use the battery to pull away from Ron. So Gary is definitely starting to feel the pressure from Ron here.
Yep, Gary is struggling heavily on these mediums. Silencer has dropped him, and Ron is right on Gary, so Gary might drop down a couple positions in the coming laps.
He may drop the P4 just to lap his alone, as if Ron and Skeppy both get better exits on the final corner compared to Gary. As Ron definitely needs to keep Skeppy in check here, because Skeppy definitely does have the slipstream advantage compared to Ron as well, due to him having two cars. As Gary gets a snap of oversteer, so does Skeppy. Never mind about that, but Ron on the very far right will get ahead of Gary, as Skeppy's starting to use the battery to get ahead of Gary's Ron. Gary goes offensive, but Skeppy is able to get around of Gary, as that will drop Gary down into P4.
Wow, Gary is struggling a lot. Not sure what his setup is, but his setup is not looking good for the medium compounded tire for him.
It definitely does, and even if, as it stands, Gary will win the championship, because Ron is not even close to Silencer's 3-second threshold. But he needs Gary, as it stands, if he wants to finish P2, Gary needs to be P9 or lower.
Yep, it's very possible with how much Gary is struggling, but I think with Gary in the dirty air, he might be able to compose himself and get back up here.
It definitely depends, because if DXD does get within Gary's DRS, I think we're going to start seeing a DRS trend starting to develop here.
Yep. Yeah, these guys are relatively equal on battery.
Oh! Gary gets a snap, and once again. But he's able to get DRS, so that will pull him right back. But here comes Skeppy on Ron, as Ron isn't using much battery. Skeppy is either, as Ron will just let Skeppy through.
Yep, Ron might potentially use Skeppy to carry him. You know, preserve his tires a bit more. As you are in dirty air, you're gonna be going slower through the corners. But yeah, Gary is struggling big time, and has quite low battery.
I mean, it seems like Gary is definitely using the curbs way too much, but that's what I'm just saying right now. That is just my observation. I may be wrong, but I may be right, but I think that would be my reason to why Gary is struggling so much right now.
Yep, yeah, Skeppy and Ron are relatively equal on ERS, so potentially might have trading as yellow flag. Who's that?
That is Bad Bunny.
Yep, spun around at Aqua Minerale. As I said, Aqua Minerale can catch out some people, and I think this is victim number 2.
I think as long as Gary can stay within Ron and Skeppy, I think he'll be okay no matter how he struggles, because DXD is starting to lose time to Gary, because those mediums I would have to assume were starting to kick in now as Ron is using the battery on Skeppy. I wonder if Skeppy will defend this move due to the overspeed. Yes, he does actually, but Ron says no, 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 and cuts him off. But that makes Skeppy have to lift, and that will allow Gary to be right back in this thing. As Kieran actually got around DXD. So those softs are definitely starting to come into play here.
Yep, everyone that I've scrolled through is pretty low on battery, so it is a bit of a high downforce track, even though we have the main straight. But yeah, everyone's pretty low.
Ron is actually starting to drop Skeppy here, and Skeppy is actually, as long as he's able to get a good run through the chicane, I think he's dropped Gary out of DRS here.
Yeah, Skeppy is running pretty wide through each exit. He's gonna start racking up some more warnings if he keeps doing that.
Yes, and those warnings will start racking up in the penalties. And Skeppy does not get DRS, actually. That's a yellow flag. That is for Ardell. Yes, it is. Skeppy doesn't get DRS, but Gary does.
Skeppy's flashing already. We have 6%. They are
Gary's
burning a lot.
flashing as well.
Yeah, they are burning quite a bit here. Oh, Skeppy's off.
Oh, yeah, I thought I saw someone off, but that is Skeppy in the wall. That just helps Gary even more. That is one less driver that he has to worry about, unless the safety car comes out. And I believe Ron actually as well made a mistake himself. In order to win a championship, you do not need to make mistakes. But speaking of mistakes, that is Bad Bunny out of the Grand Prix. That is a safety car.
Wow.
That is going to be mediums. I would have to go with mediums.
Yeah, it's going to be mediums to the end. Not sure what happened with Skeppy. Maybe just lost it on the exit of turn 2 and went into the wall. He doesn't have a right front end plate. But yeah, this safety car is going to be huge.
If you're like Silencer, Gary, Solar, and Skeppy here, except for Skeppy, yes, but for front wing damage, do you stay out here or do you pit?
I would pit. If I were, okay, right now Kieran, this helps Kieran a lot as he's on softs. He's not going to make it to the end on softs. So he's instantly going to go on to mediums, maybe even hards for some reason, but so he's going to go to the end on mediums. The hards, they have to go on to mediums because they can easily make it, and it'll be a lot faster as well. Yeah, right now, they're all in, almost all.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone will be well held up here.
Mediums.
As I don't think anybody got held up there.
Oh.
But
Mitchie.
everybody is on the mediums is actually Mitchie. On the hards is staying out. The man, the myth, the legend. He's got to get that lap of lead. He's got to get that lap of lead, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he might spice things up a little bit. It's his final race. Nothing's gonna affect him, so he's just gonna send it.
Yeah, he also needs to be clear into the standings by at least 2 points.
If
Oh,
Mitchie
there's
wins
that.
this, that would be insane if Mitchie wins this.
As you could cherish the engine noises there a little bit. I'm not sure what engine it was because I'm not looking at Bailey's stream there, but I was on my phone for a bit, scrolling through Instagram. You know, not pulling a ball, You know, not realistic stream. I sat there and interviewed. Do you know what I mean by that?
Interesting.
But this is definitely going to be interesting. Is something to talk about as well is that Doggo's AI is on the hards.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Eat Doggo. He disconnected quite early. Oh, Mitchie's in.
No. No. Maxie's sad.
Yeah, mediums to the end.
Mediums to the end for the Mitchie driver. But for the Mitchie driver? I mean, for the Red Bull driver. Okay.
Doggo's back.
I was able to kind of, yeah. As G-Doggo is back. But thank the game for that. But we're just waiting for a safety car to end at this point as Rage pits for a new set of mediums, I believe.
Yeah, everyone is going to be on mediums. So it's down to pace and I guess setup probably.
Yes, it will. If we saw Gary struggle a lot on that past compound, I wonder if he made a front wing change. But if he didn't, how slow is he going to be compared to the rest of the drivers here? Since we're all have tire pace.
Safety car should be in this lap. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just, wow. I'm just cherishing the moment at this point. Safety car will be in this lap. One of the last few safety cars in Tier 3. Every lap is ticking down. Not only for the Drivers' Championship, as well for the Constructors' Championship. But when will Silencer go? If we go off of last restart, he went pretty late. So I wonder if Ron will try and guess that. Or will Silencer go early? He will go late once again, as he will go probably now, as he's not going until now, actually. He was actually able to catch Ron out a little bit, but Gary and Ron are still relatively the same on speed, but Ron using more battery to get Gary away from him, as DXT's trying to get ahead of Kieran Evans. Kieran Evans and DXT going wheel to wheel in turn one. Kieran with the very deep brakes is able to make the corner, but got the, oh, that was very tight between the two, but Kieran was able to stay ahead of DXT for time being, but DXT coming back at him once again. If Ron needs some type of help here, he needs these two to stop battling and for the faster one to be ahead, as DXT will get ahead of Kieran Evans. As that will set DXT free to catch up to these front three.
Yep, Ichigo's gonna have to push a little bit to get into the DRS of Gary. But yeah, when Ichigo got pushed out a bit there, he weaved to show a bit of displeasure to Kieran.
Yes, as Kieran is actually in the grass, I wonder if he tried to make a lunge, but Gary is already almost out of DRS of Ron here. As at the stands, Ron will win this race as DXD gets a 3-second time penalty. I think at this point, Gary, if I'm Ron, I need to stay stay within track limits, and I need Gary to get a time penalty because 4 out of the 13 drivers have a time penalty. If you look at time penalties, 5 actually. My bad, but that's even worse for Ron's case. So there's a huge scrap going on for P5 as Kieran's in the gravel. Are we going 3
No.
wide? That isn't gonna work! That is both Stig and I believe that is Potato. Yes, in the wall. No front wing for either drivers. But they are just going at it here for P5 for the time being. 3 wide was not gonna work there. But the man, the myth, the legend, Mitchie is going for P8 right now.
Oh my
Are
God.
you joking me? No!
Is that gonna be a safety car? I swear if it's not.
It's not gonna be a safety car.
Way. More battling. No way. So much contact on a straight line. That's wow. Bit of a NASCAR move.
Yeah, but I believe the DRS is activated. No, it's not actually, but it'll be activated in this lap. As Staniser is almost out of Ron's DRS. It's actually the other way around. Ron is almost out of Staniser's DRS, which Ron needs a DRS because Gary does not need to gain any positions at all. As Ardell is able to get ahead of Kieran Evans. That'll be Ardell P5. We haven't seen much Ardell this race, but as soon as he gets in the picture, it's going to be a whole different story because his aggressiveness has been known, especially at Russia.
Yeah. That second safety car helped Ardell get back up into here and, well, yeah, put him up into P5. That first little stint before the second safety car was not very good for Ardell.
It was not, but Ron is out of Silencer's DRS. Lap 20 out of 35. Not 35, 32, look like 35 with my cardio below, but 32. That is just less laps. That is Yeet Doggo and a Rage around. I wonder if there was any contact between the two. But seems like all these drivers are stringed out at the moment.
Yeah, more victims at Aqua Minerali. That's 4 now. Yeah, Ichigo's penalty is right now not going to affect them, with Ardell being outside the 3-second window. Gary is outside of Ron's DRS by quite a bit. Oh, Ron is completely out of Silencer's DRS.
Yes, he is, but DXT is about to be within Gary's DRS, which will mean that is 1 more position that Gary will lose.
That might have been a warning for Ichigo. Ron is flashing, as you saw earlier. Gary is around the same as Ichigo in terms of the battery.
Yes, but DXT is within Gary's DRS, so if these two start going at it for quite a bit, that is a yellow flag for Rage once again. If these two start going at it, that will let Ardell creep in the picture, and not that much behind them is Skeppy and Kieran Evans as well.
Another yellow flag, I'm not sure what that was. Probably because Solo went off the track very soon. But yeah, Ichigo will have DRS, and I think he's gonna try and get past Gary here for Ron.
And for Constructor's case as well, but here we go as DXT is gonna have the overspeed due to the DRS, as Gary is trying to use the battery to hold him off, and he's not able to get it done. As that is Gary down in the P4, 1 more position, and then Gary is at risk of losing out to Ron, but with Ron being out the 3-second warning, 3-second penalty threshold to Silencer, it won't even matter. I think Ron at this point, to even get the win, is for Silencer to get another time penalty.
Yeah, he's on the... He's gonna really hope for Silencer in 6 seconds, but so far Silencer has been pretty... He's been looking pretty comfortable with this race, I guess you can say. I think he's led the whole way so far. But yeah, nothing's affecting him right now.
Yeah. So I think Gary's main objective will be to stay within Dixie's DRS because Ardell is 1.6 behind Gary. Like I said, if Ardell is able to get within Gary's DRS here, the picture is going to change. And I think that will help Ardell tremendously. As Gary actually lost quite a bit of time to DXD here. So Gary definitely needs to stay within that 1 second of DXD to even stay within this fight for the time being.
Yeah, Gary has not been looking too pacey on these mediums. Almost completely outside the 1 second window.
Oh, that is
Skeppy.
Skeppy out of the Grand Prix. Will that be a safety car? Yes, it is.
Ooh, this is soft.
That is going to be softs. What is happening?
Back there. Interesting.
I wonder if anybody will stay out here.
I doubt it. It's such a short run to the end. I think it's going to depend on what Silencer does. If Silencer goes on to softs, everyone's going to go on to softs.
Yeah, but anyway, I think if I'm wrong, I gotta do what Silencer does. I gotta follow the leader.
Yeah.
But if I'm Gary, I may think about, I have the points advantage. I only need to stay P9 minimum. Or P5 minimum, P9 maximum to win this championship. And Silencer is in, and Ron is in now, Dixie's in now, and so is Gary. Everybody's coming in the pit here.
Yep. Looks like it's gonna be softs. Let's see.
Kieran Evans stays out.
Softs.
That is interesting.
If he doesn't
Wow.
pit at the end of this lap, he can be a huge factor to this championship, possibly.
Yes, he will.
Oh, that's a 5-second time penalty for Rage speeding in the pit lane. It's not gonna help him. Yeah, he's up to 8 seconds of penalties. Everyone on softs except for Kieran in the lead. So yeah, if Kieran doesn't pit, this is gonna play pretty big to the race. And to the championship, actually, too.
Boy, everybody is on the softs except for the Alpine of Kieran Evans. This could either make or break Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, Mercedes constructors, or even Ron or Gary's drivers' championship hopes. Because due to the fact of time penalties, Ron is winning this race as it stands. Gary would be a P2 actually, so Gary would win the championship.
Hopefully
by
Kieran
8 points
can
to be
spice things
exact.
up. Yeah.
You hoping for drama, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some drama would be pretty cool to have in this final race. Oh, we got 2 corners to see if Kieran stays out and keeps the lead, and his 7-lap mediums compared to everyone's fresh softs. Oh, he stays out.
His Rage is back in the pits. I wonder what he's gonna do, but these laps are only helping the soft runners. Less laps to do on these compounded tire. I'm not sure what exact compound is, C3, C4, C5, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know it either. Either way, fresh softs. Interesting.
What?
Kieran peeked his nose a bit to the safety car. Yeah. I find that interesting. Safety car can do safety car things.
Yes. I think bold prediction. I don't think this is going to be the last safety car. I think we're going to have at least one more.
I agree with you there. The aggressiveness is going to skyrocket right now.
Yeah, it will. Especially if I'm the likes of... if I'm Ron or Gary, I wouldn't even be aggressive. Well, if I'm Ron, I would kind of be aggressive. As long as Gary doesn't pass, but... And the safety car is going to be in the slab. Kieran will dictate the pace, as he will start backing the pack up. I wonder for the final time in Tier 3, Kieran Evans will lead us off in the Turn 1 for a huge ending for this Tier 3 championship. As Kieran goes now, and look at the pace advantage between Silencer and Kieran. Even Silencer being caught out, he gained on Kieran as he's getting the slipstream. I wonder if they're going to go wheel to wheel going into Turn 1. Yes, they will. Going to Turn 1, who has the deeper brakes? It is Silencer. Contact between the two. They both hop on the curb, and Silencer gets ahead, but Ron is lifting for the time being. Gary is all over DXD, but DXD's all over Ron as well. If I'm Ron, I need to get ahead of Kieran Evans. As actually, here comes Ardell on Gary. Like I said, will this change the picture? As he's actually ahead, as that puts Gary down in the P6 on track.
Wow, if Ron can stay within the penalty window for both of these drivers, well, actually it's not going to look like it right now with Kieran holding up Ron. Yeah, if Ron can get back into the penalty window of Silencer, he can win this championship. Ardell with a 3.
I believe that will put Gary back up in the P5, but you never know.
Wow.
But Ron looking for a move on Kieran. Actually, no, he backs out of it. Kieran going very defensive. Ron with the switchback, and he has to go for the smooth stay within the penalty window. Is able to get it done. Look at the gap already after just one lap. But here comes DX on Kieran already. And so it seems like Kieran's medium pace is so slow compared to his soft runner's pace.
Yep, Kieran's still fighting it back, but yeah, his pace is not going to be good enough for the soft runners. Ardell looking for a move, but will not be able to pull it off.
Uh-oh! Uh-oh!
Oh my god!
That is contact! Gary is around! He is in the wall! Ron just needs to stay for it to be the championship! Are you kidding me? We couldn't have asked for such a dramatic ending! There is no way that this just happened!
Wow!
What I said was proven to be true. Ardell changed everything. As I believe Gary has damage. No way.
No way. Does he? Oh, Ardell dropped as well. I don't know if he spun as well.
He spun with Gary. I'm trying to see if Gary has wing damage.
No, not visible, but wow. One can win this.
He just needs to stay as it is. He's probably hoping for no safety car. As long as it goes to lap 30, there will be no more VSC safety cars, anything. But then again, I wonder if DXT will even back down, as Ron is going very slow.
He gotta go off this track, trying to overtake. It's unfortunate. Drops him down to P8.
It does. I'm trying to look.
I can't believe it.
I can as well. But if you look at time penalties...
Solar going for a move on Kieran. Oh, bit of contact. Potato going up past Kieran as well. Wow, Kieran is dropping. Ow.
I think
Gary contact. Has Potato's around.
Oh, that's Potato around. That's gonna help Gary. That's gonna put him up to P9. He's using every bit of that battery. He's at 5%, Gary is. I truly wonder if that's wing damage. Potato will let Gary through. The gap between... Oh! Gary's provisionally P8. That's going to be championship. But then again, there is DRS in the favor. So he's going to start losing time
yeah.
very, very quickly.
Kieran is also dropping, and then with his 3 as well. Yeah, Gary is P8 right now. My god. Back down to the wire, even though they had that contact, Ardell and Gary.
If Gary gets a time penalty here, we still have 3 laps. 4, technically.
I still find it quite unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm at a loss of words. Gary is using every bit of that battery just to stay within that window. As that is Doggo around, he's in the wall. He had to, uh-oh, if that's a safety car.
That's Gary up to P8. Yeah, Gary's champion right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh no. So safety car or not, Gary is champion right
That's
now.
a safety car.
Oh my god.
That just saved his race.
What?
This is gone in every... this has been a roller coaster race. I just cannot believe it.
Wow.
Kieran's in the lane. That's just going to help Gary out even more.
Gary has no penalty. He's gonna jump a lot of people. Yeah, safety car. Okay, safety car has to be what?
It's going to be in
Maybe
the
2 racing
slap.
laps,
It's
I
going to be...
think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be in the slap.
And Gary's gonna catch it. Wow.
Ardell for another 3 seconds. He's definitely pushing as hard as he can to get in the safety car queue because it is going to go in the slap. No matter the circumstances.
Wow. I thought once Gary spun, I thought that was it. That was it. But no, I've been proven very wrong.
Yes, you have. This has been a very, very weird race, to say the least. There it is.
There's still a
It's gonna be in
possibility
the
of
slap.
Ron. Ron can still win this race with Saunders 3. And then
Yeah,
Gary
you
has
are
to
right.
be Gary has to be what, P6 for Ron to win. So
Yeah.
oh my god.
It's gonna be down to the wire. But I was wrong about last time. This will be the final safety car restart. 2 laps to decide it. Sanser will go at the final corner. Ron guesses it perfectly, but where is Gary at during all of this? We need to pay attention to this driver. But we have 2 laps remaining of racing as Ron is all over Sanser. If Gary even gets a penalty, he'll only jump 1 person here. So if Ron needs to win the championship, he needs a Gary penalty.
Yeah, Ron is not looking too confident right now. He's lifting quite a bit, I can hear. I didn't look at the telemetry, but Ron has to stay within 3, and we have 2 to go. I think it's possible for Ron to win, but it's down to where Gary finishes.
Yes, it does. As it stands, Gary's already out of Silencer's 3 seconds. He's already out of it. So that will be... I'm trying to do the math in my head. That will be... Jeez. It just cannot get any better than this. I believe it will be 3rd. Yes, it will. It'll be 3rd for Gary.
That's not what Ron needs. Gary doesn't need to push at all.
Definitely not what he needs.
Yeah.
Oh, they're battling up ahead. That is definitely what Ron didn't need. If that's gonna put Gary right back into this fight, I think that's gonna be a championship unless Gary gets a penalty. And I think Gary's not even pushing at all. Is there 1 final lap for Tier 3? Solar's NASCAR in it. But for the final time, Ardell sets fastest lap to 16 flat on the softs. And going the turns. But P3 for Gary, but this would be very unfortunate for Ron nonetheless. Oh, was that contact of Gary there? I wasn't able to see it, but that was very close.
Yeah, Rage got on the
I
gravel.
wasn't able to catch it
nearly
as well.
pinned it. Wow.
As everybody's going to let Gary through. As it stands, even Gary will be the champion.
Yeah.
No matter the circumstances. He just needs Gary to spin off.
Gary has to
Only hope.
win it in these final 2 sectors.
Well,
Stick in Ichigo.
going through Sector 3 for the final time. It has been silencer domination. But going through the final time, Stig and Dixie going at it for the final step of podium provisionally. But going through final sector for now, it'll be Silencer winning the Grand Prix. But all eyes are on Gary. This season, it has been pace for him. But coming across the line now, it will be Gary for your Tier 3 champion. As Gary will get the final step on the podium, as Ron will win the Grand Prix. But man, what a race to decide it. And I'm not even sure who's the Trickers champion. If I had to take a guess, it's probably Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, possibly. But wow, what a race that was. Gary, your Tier 3 champion. That went down to the wire.
Yes, it has.
Absolute fantastic race. Whew.
Just, wow.
Just wow.
What an ending to the season.
Yep.
Just, what? Once again, what an ending. If there is any steward reports from either between Ron and Gary, we'll have to wait about that. You have 48 hours to submit an incident, by the way, if you're curious. But so, in the next 2 days, there could be question marks around if there will be any steward reports. But I didn't see anything suspicious from the two, so. But before we get interviews going, I will invite Kern Evans to the party for a little speech about Tier 3 to end off the season.
I'll wait until you've done your little talk.
Yeah.
Wow, what an ending.
Whew, what a race.
That was an Abu Dhabi 2020 ending if I've ever seen it, but start get our podium setters and our championship winner in here. I'll have to open the party a bit for a bit to get Ron in the party. There you go. But Kieran, to start off your speech to end up the season, it is your court. Go ahead.
I'd just like to point out that, well, how do I put it? The 2022 season's absolutely been a blast for Tier 3. Congratulations, Gary, on winning the championship. Hopefully that's not your last championship win, but we'll see how that goes.
Thank you very much.
Obviously, we're letting Mitchie go. He's chasing other dreams, so good luck to him if he's watching the stream or whatever he does. We all support him. But all in all, Tier 3 at BRL has been an absolute godsend and a home for me since the season started. I've been so glad to be by you guys every single step of the way. I'm just hoping that I can continue to give BRL what it needs maybe into the next season. But yes, congratulations, Gary, on your championship win, and congratulations, Ron and SRT for being on the top three along with Gary as well.
Yeah. Well, I apologize. I'm still catching my breath there. But I'm assuming that will end your speech, but still, very inspirational speech, by the way. I have to give that a round of applause. There you go. There's a quick round of applause. But we're going to start off our podium sitter. We're not going to start off with Gary because he's a very important boy, but we'll get on to it later. But we go to P2. Bailey, how about you start off with Silencer?
Yep, Silencer. That was a very commanding race. Unfortunate that you didn't, win it. But yeah, tell us about your race.
Yeah, so basically I just went into that doing everything I could to get constructors. There was a lot of safety cars. I kind of just came in like with the drain ERS, pull out of a second, then save it later. So that worked pretty well. I built up a pretty good gap every time. And then that final safety car, I felt like I had one corner to go to end the chance of a safety car, and it came out as I was about to cross the line. So, shame on anyone who caused that. I'll find out later. That first win will have to wait, though.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately you didn't win, but it is the final race, and we have next season coming up in a bit. Are you gonna sign up, and are you looking forward to next season?
Yeah, I'll be here for next season.
All right, bet. Yeah, Zach, take it away.
Appreciate it.
Yep. For not P2, our race winner, but falling short, unfortunately, due to time penalties and all that jazz. We go to Ron. I'm going to make this short as possible. That way you don't have to
No.
too much.
Wayne.
Yes.
No
yes.
shortness. I want my moment
Yes.
of fame.
You don't get a moment of fame.
Yes, I did. I won the race. I got 2 speeches prepared out of the top of my head. One for if I won and one if I didn't. And I got to thank all the people who helped me not win this.
Okay, then go.
Thank you to the Williams in the first race who wrecked me because he didn't know how to drive but then left after the 4th race. Thank you to Kieran in the Haas, the VRL Kieran, for dying and murdering me at Baku. And thank you to Stig, and Stig was my inspiration for this because he told me to do it, for wrecking me at Hungary like how he almost wrecked DXD. I thank you all for that. Yeah, you got any questions for me?
Yeah. That's what I figured was going to happen.
You got any questions for me?
Oh, yeah, I do, but
Okay, ask them.
you were just so close to coming up on the championship. You had it in your hands. And Abu Dhabi 2021 style, Michael Massey steps in and says safety car in a reverse situation.
It wasn't even enough, I don't think. It was teasing me the entire time because there was a point in time where Gary was just... I'll let him tell me later, but right now I'll speak what I saw. Gary was just dog water on any other tire other than the softs. And so I was really confident, and I was like, oh, this is how I'm going to win it because everyone else is catching and starting to pass them. And, dude, this is great. And then we just kept having safety cars. Skeppy made me real mad because he constantly shows up and then either touches me inappropriately, Skeppy, or becomes a safety car. And I didn't need that Skeppy safety car. And so that was a little annoying. And so we had to go on the soft tire. Went through all that, and at some point I got like real excited. All I heard is Gary's off, and I'm like, oh my god, he binned it. He absolutely threw it away. I figured he like Perez'd it, and then they said Ardell was involved, and then I got sad because I don't want Ardell to make me win the championship. And then, of course, then I can hear, oh, he's out of the points. I'm like, all right, fine, I'm okay with this. And then he's like, oh, he's in 10th because Ardell pitted. And then he's like, oh, he's in 9th because this guy spun. He's in 8th because this guy spun. I'm like, you're joking me. Now he's like, he's in 7th because this guy crashed down. I was like, look at the gap, and it's 5 seconds. And I was like, oh, I can't make that up in 3 laps. And then safety car came out. So it gave me a little bit more hope that maybe Kieran would do what he did to me and be a little rude person and not let me go, but just to, Gary. But he didn't do that, nor did anyone else in front of him. And he ended up, and now he's here, and now I have to talk to him. And I don't know if he wants to talk to me. Do you want to talk to me?
I do.
He doesn't. See, I'm so sad.
Oh, I do.
Alright, that last part was just stupid and random, but yeah. So that was my race. And I won, so suck it, baby.
GG's.
Yeah, but now
I want a Bailey question. Bailey, do you have a question for me? You have to wait, Zach. Gosh.
no.
Bailey, do you have any questions
Bailey
for me?
doesn't have a question. I guarantee.
You don't. Let's find out. Bailey, do you have any questions?
Actually, I do.
And Zach. Yes. All right. What is your question?
All right. So obviously, I think you're gonna come back next season. Are you gonna defend this championship and try, to win the next tier championship for you, or?
I
do
hope
something else?
if I actually do what I did the last 2 races and put a little practice into it, but it all depends. Basically, I hear it's going to be a shorter season, so that may be better. Work just didn't line up for the last couple of races, especially since I hated all those tracks. So hating a track and not being able to practice with it didn't help. But I was able to practice a lot for these last 2 races. So hold on. Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on. One teensy little second. Okay, 1 teensy little second. I am bringing a quick guest. He wants to say something. So, take it away, DXD.
Hey, Dixie. What are you happy for?
Our constructors champions.
I actually have no
Booyah.
idea who the constructor
Apparently, it
championship
wasn't
was. The
updated.
Shut up.
It hasn't been updated.
Shut up. Shut up.
Screwed
it
it
doesn't
up.
matter. That doesn't matter.
We
In
don't
the
even
hearts
know.
of the Tifosi, Alfa Romeo won.
Well, technically,
all
that
4
could,
equal
it's
tiers,
more
too.
Ferrari, by
Exactly.
the way. So.
In a
Ferrari
way.
We don't even know who won.
Shut up.
Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, I
You don't
believe
know
we're gonna
that
have to.
because someone screwed up the point
That's 3
standings.
points.
Well, I have
I
to remove
think-
DXD from the party, unfortunately, to get this driver, to get this
Alright, fine.
champion
He can have his
interview. Yeah. Well, here we have our championship winner. We have our pace and our consistency driver who's been on top all season. Gary, congratulations. You are the Tier 3 champion. Just give us your thoughts really on that championship battle with Ron all season and how you were able to come through the Ashes really to become a champion.
Yeah, I wasn't on top all season. I know Ron likes it on top, so I'll let him have a go for a bit. But,
Hey!
yeah.
Hey! You can't say that! This is a PG-13 stream, you can't say that!
Hey!
Someone
yeah,
said that.
Also, you can't call me gay!
It's only gay if you push back.
Oh.
But yeah, so the season was good, mate. Like you say, you can't deny it, winning it. It's going to be a good season. So yeah, Ron was fun to have battles with on the track. So yeah, obviously Ardell showing up today, then my ass went from there, and luckily the last safety car did kind of save the day. Obviously I had my engine in there, not just tonight. I had Drunken Shamrock telling me my times, what to do, when to pit, so on and so forth, keep an eye on the guys in front. My race pace was terrible today, I can honestly admit, like you say. But fortunately I got done what needed to be done in the end, and here we are. Winner chicken dinner, yeah boy.
Yeah. What are you gonna be eating tonight? Chicken?
Pardon?
You gonna be eating chicken for dinner, even though it's probably 3 in the morning your time?
Yeah, it's 1:30, but I'll definitely do some of it and celebrate, and yeah, look forward to next season. See where we go from there.
Yeah, so I think that'll be wrapping up the stream. That will be our final tier 3 stream. And just for you guys, I'll let you all close it, even though it'll probably be bad, but take it away, everyone.
You all suck. Goodbye.
How's P2, Ron? How's P2?
I finished first.
Yeah.
I
See you
won.
next year.
I won the race. I won
Nah,
Imola.
forget the race.
Bye.
Who knows about that race?
Say
Who
bye,
remembers-
everyone.
These people didn't
Who
wreck
remember that
me.
race?
You binned yourself.
Okay.
In Japan, so that's